Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. We can see from the headlines of the Wall Street Journal that the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq and the Russell are all down. We know that Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity, so we're not surprised to see Bitcoin down as well. It's important to contextualize things globally. When we look at the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, the Dow and the Russell, they're all retracing, but so too are pretty much all of the global major indices. This was the picture of global indices across the world yesterday. What does it look like today? It looks like this. Russia is just slightly up. We can see Indonesia up a little. Red in the US, red in Sweden, Brazil, India, Japan, Australia, and South Africa, and of course a few more places. A lot of people will look for very specific reasons for this particular decrease in price, but is there just one reason? Not really. Price always moves in waves, and we can see that the flash services PMI came in lower than anticipated, as did the flash manufacturing PMI. The labour market still remains strong, with unemployment claims less than expected. The tight labour market is the thing that the Fed fears most. We can see that all sectors across the US economy didn't escape the downtrend, and the main markets looked a little bit red, with Meta escaping just up 2.92% and Adobe up 2.78%. The question is always, what will happen next? When looking at the 9 sell-offs in the S&P 500 since 1966, we can see the market is in fact retracing. We've been waiting for this. And the SPX is currently 38.39. We need to look into this in more depth to understand where the markets and of course where crypto are going. A lot of people feel that the stock market is going the way of the Titanic. But is this actually the case? Let's have a look. Recently, we saw the main markets doing incredibly well, going up and up and up. And then what happened? They started to retrace, started to break lower support. But just keep in mind, there are a few key areas. We were pointing out yesterday that this area between 37.66 and 38.27 is a natural pullback area. Remember, price is always moving in a wave. It's always going up and down. And we're very close to that smart money buy level at 38.41. If the S&P 500 goes lower between the 36.26 to the 37.22 mark, there could be negative price momentum, more of it on the way. And if it gets down to 35.31 to 35.59, then we start to consider that maybe we're going to see quite a sell-off. It's very important to track the major indices because they give us a window into what Bitcoin could be doing and what crypto could be doing. We take the markets very seriously. We analyze the markets through the CTKS method, and I'll explain that a little more. What we actually do is to look at smart money buy and sell levels. These heavier lines are smart money sell levels because price is below. We can see that the S&P, E-mini S&P 500 futures came down to a smart money buy level, and that buy level was respected, but the sellers were too strong. We saw that there were multiple levels of support, and the buyers have been coming in. The buyers have been trying to push the market higher, but with little success at the present time. We must always think in a three-dimensional manner. What if price goes against us? What if it just goes flat? Or what if it goes up? If we see the E-mini S&P 500 futures start to go up, we know there's a lot of smart money sell resistance around the 38.83. It's currently 38.59. We also know that there's smart money buy levels at the 38.40 mark. So this is what we keep in mind. We always look at the market structure, not recent price action. And that's what the CTKS method gives us. It's a standards-based process to reveal smart money buy and sell levels from any price chart. We can see that the major market indices, for example the Nasdaq, has been selling off as the VIX came up, but not too confidently, just came up a little. And the US dollar currency index also came up. When the DXY comes up, it's basically a flight to safety. We can see bond prices normalizing out, bond yields normalizing as well. Gold was retracing, and we covered key gold levels through the CTKS method in yesterday's video. We also saw oil continue its downslide. Junk bonds, as a key measure of risk-on activity, are starting to weaken. It doesn't mean that risk-on is completely out of the market, but it does mean it's weakening at the current time. We saw on the S&P 500 that it's coming into a barrage of smart money buy levels, but the concept is what could happen with the VIX. If the VIX has had a trend change, and it looks like it has, and it starts to spike up, that will put a lot of negative momentum into the markets. This is something to be aware of. If this happens, we would expect the DXY to actually increase as a signal that people are exiting the market. Just keep in mind, if we retrace down to this particular area, 37.66 to 38.27, and then stage a rebound, that's all very, very positive. I'd like to thank again Crypto Badger for your very kind comment. It's really beautiful, and I so appreciate what you're saying. Crypto Badger said, the CTKS method, it's technical analysis at its highest level. Without any doubt, this TA is far superior to anything in existence. Thank you, my friend. When we look at the SPY, we can see this structural resistance playing in at the 410, 408, 404 and 401 levels, and that's been a bait for quite some time. When we look at this internal resistance inside the market, it makes it very, very difficult for the market indices to rally. There's simply too many sellers, and what happens when we lose support? We can fall down quickly to the next safety net. When you see a particular horizontal level below the current price, what it means is that particular level is support. Let's just zoom in there. Ideally, when it comes to market structure, we want price to be above these particular levels because they act as support. What we can see now is the price is currently 382 and 91 cents in the SPY. It's trying to get above this smart money sell level. It was a buy level, but then it turned to a sell level. And always remember that buy and sell levels flip all the time. It's kind of like this particular car. This car is really cool. When support and resistance flip, good visual. These particular lines are not formed through recent indicative price. They're formed through ODMS, or Objective Dynamic Market Structure. That's where we mark up all of price, not just the current price and around the current price. What we see is this is the market structure that smart money uses. If we actually do not manage to break through this particular resistance line, the next support nets, like safety nets, are at 379.88, 379.30, and there's a stronger one down at 376.26. The reason that we use the CTKS method is simply because we don't want to guess, we want to know. When we look at the DXY, we saw the DXY collapse down to an area of smart money support, and this support held fairly well and pushed the price or the value of the DXY up. The next resistance above is 105.357. The DXY is currently 104.652. Support below 104.392. And stronger support below that at 104.113. A lot of people ask, what is the difference between the CTKS method standards and just conventional technical analysis? Conventional technical analysis is fairly short-sighted. It looks at recent indicative price, or RIP. Said another way, from a statistical perspective, conventional technical analysis just takes a sample. It doesn't do a census. But the CTKS method does a census. It looks at everything. through a process called Object Dynamic Market Structure, or ODMS, and there are 6 elements inside RIP, and you'll learn that in Level 1 certification. SBA is also something that occurs out of normal technical analysis. SBA is story-based analysis. Because people don't really know where the true support and resistance lines are, they have to guess. We overcome that through SLs, or Stanfield levels. You can see the little picture of a fairy above story-based analysis. Because it's a fairy tale, basically. There's the proverb of the 6 old men, but they're young here, basically looking at an elephant but examining different parts: the tail, the foot, the belly, the ear, the trunk, and the tusks, and all, of course, came up with different conclusions as to what it was. They didn't realize it was an elephant. This is exactly what happens in normal market analysis. The elephant is the market, and different people have different perspectives based on their vantage points. You can see they're literally sampling price action. We don't sample, we do a census. We look at all of price action, so we form the real picture of what the market is and can do. If you would like to learn more about the CTKS Method Standards, you can pop across to the ctksmethod.org. It's very important to know rather than to guess. It's important to understand that SBA and recent indicative price are just used by default. The market doesn't even know they're doing it. When you see a chart made up like this with just recent price action, this is RIP. RIP always gives rise to SBA, or recent indicative price always gives way to a story. And there can be many stories, going up, going down. For example, here's a concept of the DXY going up and another of the DXY coming down. Many indicators are backward looking, so the use of indicators is always to give a statistical edge. But the real issue with indicators, they're primarily based on recent indicative price. Therefore, they bake the story into the mathematics. That's why a lot of people can look at the same chart and come up with wildly different outcomes. It's not hard to spot recent indicative price because they're always around major highs and major lows. That's the way that you see it. And it doesn't mean the stories are in fact incorrect. It just means that they're stories. And some stories are good and some stories not so good. That's why it's so critical to move away from an analysis of recent indicative price to a census of all price. Because you want to understand what price structure is actually there inside the market, and that's exactly what smart money does. One thing to bear in mind, just because you look at all of price action, as this analyst has done here, doesn't mean the lines are actually smart money buy and sell levels. There's a very, very specific standards-based, step-by-step process to identify them. This particular analyst has formed a statistical regression channel trying to understand the average variability around price. I used to lecture first and second year statistics for many years. I understand the mathematics, and that's why I'm saying the mathematics bakes in the story. And here you can see another regression channel forming an average variability around the mean. The problem is, if you want to understand averages, your average temperature, if you've got one hand in the fire and the other in the freezer. And a lot of people don't understand that standard deviation is actually the deviation around the mean. The mean formula is inside the standard deviation formula, and that means that standard deviation suffers the same fate mathematically as averages. That is distortion. The reason that we spend so much time analyzing the main markets is Rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. And what's this got to do with the stock market? Because the stock market directly impacts Bitcoin's gravity. So the stock market hits Bitcoin. Bitcoin hits your beloved alts. Before we look at Bitcoin and your beloved alts, we need to check out total crypto market capitalization. This actual price chart is all the cryptos boiled into one price. How cool is that? But we can actually see total crypto market cap is currently 780 billion. The problem that we face, we've actually fallen below 2 smart money buy areas. This is where the smart money was coming in to buy the entire crypto space, but it didn't hold. The sellers were too strong. We've lost both of those now. We need to be aware that the next smart money buy level is actually down at 707 billion. This price action has come as a shock to many people, but quite a long time ago we did LV25 in the masterclass, Midterm Election Volatility Secrets You Need to Know. If you're in the masterclass, please have a look at that. It's a really, really important video. And it's actually predicted this kind of negative momentum. And I'm very proud to announce the Jason Rice CTKS Partial Masterclass Scholarship awardee is Migs. Well done, Migs, and thank you, Jason, for your very kind generosity. When we look at the SLs on Bitcoin, we can see the quadruple witching day where there was 329 million in options expirations at a 17,000 max pain. It definitely gravitated down to that max pain level. Basically, the options market pulled the smart money support here at 17,426 down towards it. And it's all about momentum. So when it pulls it down, especially if it creates panic inside the market, it will pull it down to try to ping the next SL. And the next SL is 16,653. One thing to keep in mind, the max pain level for today and tomorrow is still the same, 17,000. If we look back on Bitcoin's price history and look at these max pain levels, we can see the gray areas were the max pain level, and then they shifted as price came up. They shifted up. Here, it was here, and then it was there. You can see the max pain levels following price. But the one thing that was really interesting, and we talked about this yesterday, the max pain level of 17,000 did not change. It was rock solid, and there was hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of options expirations on that date. And that, of course, is the quadruple witching day. This is why I teach inside the masterclass you have to have a very wide scope of vision. And it's all about actually stacking probabilities. A lot of people say, Ken, how can I see the SLs above the current price and all of those below the current price? You can pop across to ctksmethod.org, just scroll down, and the CTKS Method service is what you need. We've got a very, very special Christmas bonus offer of $39 per month. It's usually $99 per month. This is a pre-release version. So if you just lock in your name and email, you will lock in your lifetime discount. That means that it will stay at $39 per month. It's really interesting. Elon says that will be $8 per month for a blue tick. And I signed up originally at $8. It's now $19 per month. I see exactly the same thing happening with the CTKS Method service because it will be institutional grade. This is just simply a registration of interest, and there's nothing to pay. You're just locking in a discount, and you can see what the service is all about. It's very, very worthwhile to join up. I don't want you to miss out. That's why I'm letting you know. We are always keen to see how the longs and the shorts interact with each other. These are Bitcoin shorts in the red line. These are Bitcoin longs in the green line. We can see from all of this negative price momentum, the longs have been absolutely crushed. And because of this little kick up, just in price, just around the current time, we can see that the shorts are starting to get liquidated. But let's check it out. And masterclass students, you get a deep dive in TG34. As we anticipated, 134.95 million across 39,801 positions. And when we look at the past 24 hours, total liquidations about 91% long. Past 12 hours, 94% long. Past 4 hours, 67% long. You can see its decreasing rate at the moment. And the past hour, about 51% long. And when we look to overall contextualization, we can see that the longs have been way outgunned by the shorts. The greatest gainers in the past 24 hours: TON up 5%, USDN up 3.75%, OKB up nearly 3%, BSV up around 2%, and you can see there's not that many in the top 100 coming up. The greatest losers over the past 24 hours: Synthetics, TWT, Comp, XCN, Ape, Solana, LDO. There's a lot of talk in the crypto space about Binance's finances. And the concept is, can Binance weather the bear market? You might remember recently that CZ came out and said TWT is the way to go, and TWT went up by massive amounts. It's now retracing. Also, Solana had another hack. The Mazars Group, known for its proof of reserve audit services for crypto companies, reportedly removed Binance proof of reserves from their website. But it's not just Binance, it's KuCoin, Crypto.com, Gate.io, OKX, and FTX. CryptoQuant verifies Binance's reserves and reports no FTX-like behavior. CryptoQuant has backed the findings of audit firm Mazars, stating that liabilities reported by Binance are very close to its estimation of 99%. The report shows Binance Bitcoin liabilities customer deposits are 97% collateralized by the exchange assets. Collateralization increases to 101% when the Bitcoin lent to customers is accounted for. In other news, Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary blames Binance for FTX's collapse. Why is Kevin doing this? Obviously, SBF committed fraud by actually taking the funds that he shouldn't take and gambling with them. It's SBF who is responsible here, not Binance. If Binance was to blame for FTX, CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, would not have been arrested for fraud, and US prosecutors would not charge him. Sorry, Kevin, no ball. In other news, Solana plummets 10% following $2 million exploit on Solana-based DEX. That was the Solana-based decentralized exchange, Radium. SEC approves 9 more Wisdom Tree blockchain-enabled funds. Wisdom Tree is an $82 billion asset manager. The UK's FCA, or Financial Conduct Authority, the incoming chair, is not happy about crypto. Microsoft now requires users to obtain a written pre-approval from the firm in order to use Microsoft Azure for mining cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. All the other hosting providers are saying, yay Microsoft. Thanks for the business. What you will find is that when the markets turn red, the headlines turn red with the market. When the market turns green, the headlines turn green with the market. The market is currently red. What is the headline? Bitcoin Santa Claus rally unlikely, according to on-chain and derivatives data. The news can get really specific. Maybe right now we're analyzing some part around near the tail. Tomorrow, if the markets rally, we'll be examining some other part of the elephant, which is the market. Dutch central bank says KuCoin is not licensed and illegally offering services. Crypto.com will continue its worldwide registration push with a Brazilian EMI license. And Crypto.com is expanding rapidly into international markets. Interesting news out of Russia. The Russian government does not want to enable Bitcoin for regular Russian people, but rather exclusively for foreign trade entities. And the deputy governor of the Bank of Russia said, if you allow free circulation of cryptocurrency as an investment tool within the country, then, inevitably, with the expansion of its ownership, it will become more widely used as a means of payment. It will be impossible to prevent this. Oh no, the banks are in trouble. It's fascinating. I see people lined up outside foreign conversion outlets, paying really sizable fees to remit payments home to other countries. They could simply just do it through a crypto exchange or a decentralized exchange and pay literally nothing. And this is exactly what the banks are wary of. Of course, there's a lot of regulation coming, but why is that? Because crypto is coming of age. Just think about it this way. The regulation is because the large institutions cannot control the market, so they have to put pressure on the government to regulate it. Therefore, any sign of regulation is a sign the crypto is actually achieving its purpose. We know that no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity, and when we look at Ethereum, as Bitcoin came down, what did Ethereum do? It came down, pretty much in lockstep. What about Binance Coin? Despite all the objections and the news articles raised, it's doing nothing more than traveling with Bitcoin's gravity. What about XRP? XRP is also traveling with Bitcoin's gravity, but just a bit weaker back here. Just take a note of that. That is an over-exaggeration. Notice that doubling bottom there. And when you look at similar price action, you don't see this kind of weakness. This is what we have eagle eyes for. And as a very beloved family member pointed out, a CTKS Global family member, eagles have 25. When human vision is really good, it's 20/20, but eagle vision is 25. What does that mean? It means that eagles can see things from 20 feet away that we can see from only 5 feet away. Wow, those eagles can really see. And you definitely need eagle eyes when you're looking at gravitational push throughout the market. You want to observe if a particular crypto has pushed upwards or downwards more than what Bitcoin has done. This shows relative strength or relative weakness. It can be a reflection of many things, and it doesn't mean the project is in any way bad. What it means is that you must pay deeper attention. And when we see Doge just moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity, ADA also doing the same, Matic doing the same, DOT doing the same, Litecoin doing the same. This is why if you don't know what's happening with Bitcoin, you do not know what's happening with your beloved alts. Also, if you don't know what's happening with the main market, you do not know what's happening with Bitcoin. Therefore, you do not know what's happening with your beloved alts. And as we saw, looking at the CTKS method applied to Ethereum, Ethereum lost its support and then was caught by the next lower level of support. These support and resistance lines are the best you'll ever find. And if you want to know what smart money knows, simply apply the CTKS method to your charts. Or if you don't have time, you can use the service. Just a quick update to the top 8. Tron has booted out Litecoin. Litecoin became so light that Tron just said, "Get out of here, Litecoin, I'm taking your spot," and it floated away. Tron actually jumped over Solana and jumped over Litecoin. Wow, way to go, Justin. And when we look at Solana, even though the news of the hack, what is actually happening with the gravitational pull? It's just moving in accordance with that. And we can see exactly the same thing in SHIB, exactly the same in Uni, exactly the same in AVAX, exactly the same in Link. Atom, also the same. But have a look at Stellar. Stellar's starting to gather power. Remember yesterday we were talking about Tron and it was looking like it was becoming powerful. It took out both Solana and Litecoin in the process. That's why you look for strength. Many people are going through a light pullback at the moment, and this is literally the silly season. A lot of people have experienced a tremendous amount of joy with Christmas, but there are a lot of people who don't experience that at all. They experience the exact opposite. If you're going through a tough time at the moment, please know that there's a global family that's sending you love. These dark times are meant to strengthen us. When you go through a life pullback, just think about you're just gaining the strength to do your next rally. Keep a positive outlook. It will make all the difference. As a community, we believe in positive excellence. Positive excellence is about doing the right things. Money and success will follow. A very important part of positive excellence, which is the path to sustainable fulfillment, meaning happiness and success, is inner peace and outer peace. There are two particular zones that destroy inner and outer peace. That's the entitlement zone and the panic zone. and the blame zone and the conflict and jealousy zones. These zones are very, very common for people to reside in, not just in financial markets, but in life. Zone 1 and Zone 2 inside financial markets will cost you an absolute fortune. In real life, maybe it will cost you friends, maybe it will cost you relationships, maybe even your job. But in the financial markets, it can cost you your account. That's why we focus on Zone 3 and especially Zone 4 behavior. We know that we're only entitled for what we work for. And we don't have jealousy when other people succeed. We have the exact opposite, appreciation and gratitude. Why is that? Because we don't believe in scarcity, we believe in abundance. It's not a win-lose situation in life. If one person wins, another person must be losing. It's not like that at all, and it never actually has been. This is why Zones 1 and 2 have poor thinking. It's the thinking that can keep people poor, not in terms of money. A lot of people have a lot of money but have poor thinking. It's not about that. It's poor in terms of happiness. It's poor in terms of the quality of relationships. Therefore, we move into Zone 4, which is wealthy thinking, and that's all about positive excellence. Positive excellence can be absolutely life-changing. And it's literally a commitment to give away Zone 1 and Zone 2 behavior, and just to make yourself happy, because you deserve it, because you know deep down you're worthy. And sometimes, because of self-doubt and self-sabotage, we don't feel worthy, but we all are. If you're breathing, you're worthy. In the comments today, I'd love to talk more about jealousy. I think jealousy is a very insidious thing. Jealousy can absolutely ruin relationships, can ruin happiness, but it's very, very quiet in how it works. And especially during the Christmas season, the silly season, jealousy can get out of hand. So I thought it would be really good for us to have a chat about. I'd love to hear your comments on jealousy. What are the dark sides of jealousy, and what are potential methods to overcome it? I'm so looking forward to any wisdom that you might like to share with our beloved global family. And to Flamingo, it's so great to see you back, my friend, and I'm so glad you're feeling better. To Art, have a great time heading for the mountains tomorrow. We'll miss you, my friend. Thank you so much, Pat, for your kind words. And to Edwin, thank you so much, my friend. Edwin says, once you've seen the CTKS method, literally no other charting techniques can satisfy you. Thank you, my friend. That's very kind. Thank you for your comment, Just Ace. Just Ace was saying it was strange alts did not follow Bitcoin's gravity when it moved up. And now we're getting a very, very clear picture as to why. The underpinning of the crypto market was losing strength, and so the alts gave us a bit of an understanding of that. That's why it's really important to look at as many possible charts as you can. They give you a really good stacking of probabilities. And we saw today just how the alts definitely fell in line with Bitcoin's gravity. Sometimes they can wobble around, but in deep sell-off events, they are all going to synchronize, except for the inverters, of course, and they're generally not in the top. Thank you as always, Al. All results come from the mind. It's really good to look at it that way as well. When you see your results, if something is not meeting expectation, it's really good to examine your underlying thought processes. Becoming aware of what's holding you back is really key. And also the other way, if something is working really, really well, try and uncover that thought process and just exemplify it, just magnify it. And thank you, Tiana, for your very kind comment, and wishing everybody lots of love, blessings, and care during the weekend. And a big like and a big heart for you, Tiana, as well. Tiana, also really, really well done on your mathematical approach to the market. And congratulations, Beardy, just completed level 1. Woohoo! Well done, my friend. And well done to everybody who pops in their daily 3-dimensional risk management code. That's so important. You will be rewarded by the market for doing so because you're paying attention. You're also asking the hard questions. The fact that you're not gambling already qualifies you into profitability. And then it's just a question of getting into sync with the market. Part of the CTKS method is the CTKS Creed, which primes our mind for profitability and happiness in life. These are a series of positive affirmation statements you just say to yourself. They're important because they get rid of fear and install courage. Acting on fear creates the fear. We don't want to do that. We need to act with courage, but also knowledge. Here is the creed. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities in life reset daily. I am worthy. I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. And I never let a problem beat me because I solve it with positive excellence. If you have family or friends who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do here each and every day, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We'd love to see them here. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.